So far with this build, I've found out that the hardest part is finding a good way to start a video, so I'm just going to start. It's been about 1 week since I posted my first video talking about the build in a little bit of detail. I figure I'll try to do weekly updates as long as there is a weekly update, kind of showcasing what all has been completed and what all still needs to be done. So starting in the engine bay here. Not a whole lot to do. I did do my little billet ABS delete. Just feel like it's going to be a lot easier not having ABS. I'm not going to drive this thing in the rain. Not really necessary to have it. I do plan on relocating this somehow, hopefully into the fire or in an inner fender. Get rid of the washer fluid reservoir, but that's another problem for a different day. I do eventually have to massage the trans tunnel a little bit. You can see where I marked there. My 6R80 is hitting there. Nothing a little hammer action won't fix. I am going to be getting rid of the cable shift linkage. I got the new SVE setup coming with the actual shift rod, so that'll be for sale soon, that whole setup. Other than that, not a whole lot to do. I did decide to go with a 1/4 inch hose for my supply, so I'm gonna have to get rid of that guy, cap it off, and then add the 1/4 inch one there. And I'm gonna fix the alignment there so it doesn't look all silly and whatnot. As for the engine, I got quite a bit done. As you can see, I added the 3.4 inch grip tech. So one thing that's not really talked about a whole lot in these builds is that with the Gen 1 Coyotes, people are running into issues where there's too much boost and the engines are saying bye-bye. So to combat that, you just kind of got to lower the boost for the meantime until you can get a built bottom end. So 3.4 is about what people tend to go with for the Gen 1s. So I got that. I did cap these, that guy down there off. Most people just throw like a little rubber cap on them, but I decided to make it threaded. Just a cleaner look in my opinion. What else is done? Oh, so I'll talk about my belt drive a little bit here. So I decided to go with the GT500 front timing setup. I know it's not really the orthodox way of doing things. People tend to go with the VMP no grind kit, which is fine, but I had to get a new timing cover anyway, so I decided I wanted to do 8 rib. So factory balancer. All these pulleys are factory GT500, tensioners from Boss 302. Same with the alternator pulley. So I did end up running a F250. I know I said F150 before. F250 AC compressor. It is factory 8 rib. Bolts on the same. The only difference is with the GT500 timing cover is you're going to need to add a 3/8 spacer. So you can see up in there. So that'll kind of keep it away from the cover. The bolts all reached and everything. I had plenty of thread. The belt I ended up going with is the Gates. It's the 720 HD 8 rib setup, and then this belt is just the factory GT500 4 rib. So that all worked out pretty well. I did swap out this heater hose tube, whatever, for a factory Mustang one. The GT500 was just too tall. I was able to bend it out of the way a little bit, but it clears, so I'm happy with that. I didn't really like how the GT500 one looked. So coming around to the side, something else that just got done today was I added this little crossover for my fuel rail. This is all Ford stuff, Ford Innovations. For the rest of the fuel system, I'm probably going to use PTFE, but I decided to just use that for now. One thing to note, if you do just buy the rails and you think you can just throw it on, you can't. You need these little 1.25 or 1.5 spacers. So that was something that just had to show up today. I tied the hose for the IAT sensor, or the wire for the IAT sensor, in with the harness, so that'll come out here now. It's all clean looking. Tapped my supercharger lid for the 1/4 inch vacuum hose. And let's see what else. So I added this. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I found it on eBay. It's just a little dipstick tube. Probably still going to fill it from the bottom, but it's nice to be able to check the fluid without having to get under the car. And then I also installed this Ben's Force setup. I do have a coolant temp sensor just so I can kind of monitor it, but I'm going to run 1/2 inch hose, and yeah, that should be good. I hope. We'll see. Something else I did, I don't know really how it's going to turn out, but I did drill through my blower because it's a newer version that isn't drilled all the way through. I drilled through for some studs. They're M6 by 170 millimeter. Got some nuts here. Eventually I'll cut these down to length and it won't be a problem. 3 of them were good. This 4th one I have to figure out. It missed by a little bit, so we'll have to figure out what needs to be done there. But otherwise everything's looking good. Blower's going to be coming off now I got the belt checked. And now I'll go over kind of what's left before I can go back in. So first off, this is my factory 96 harness. I know I should have went with the Lethal Nate setup, but I was trying to save $1 here and there, and I decided to do it myself, so it might backfire and have to get it done anyways. But this is a little bit too short, so the plan is, unless someone states otherwise that it's not doable, I'm going to cut this and extend it by about 12 inches just so I have enough room. Yeah, it was a little too tight for me. Speed Engineering headers, I know they're a cheap route, but again, I wasn't really planning on this being a supercharged build. This was just going to be a budget build to start, and I kind of had all the parts anyways, so this is what I'm running for right now. I do have the recommended starter, but as you can see, it is hitting there and there, so this one's a little bit easier. I'm gonna pop the header off, put a little dent in it, should be fine. Put a heat shield on the starter, no big deal. This bolt right here was a little bit hard to get to, and I ended up kind of ooga-dooging it, just kind of sent it in. So I'm gonna pull it out, make sure the threads are good. If they're not, I have a helicoil kit, so I'll tap those and make sure that's all better. I did notice after watching someone else's video, because I was like, wow, this is sitting in here really good. I'm surprised everyone else needs spacers. Well, I took a look at it finally, and I am hitting the oil pan. So I do have UPR 3/8 inch spacers coming with the 3/8 spacers for the K member, just because I'm just barely clearing my hood now. I know that if I were to put an extra 3/8 of an inch there, I would definitely hit. So, but my main issue with the Speed Engineering headers is on the driver's side. So if you can see here, this is hitting here, almost hitting up there. It's on correctly, and I have emailed Speed Engineering about this, and we've been going back and forth, and basically what they told me is they understand that on their website that it fits the 6R80, but in reality it doesn't. So basically what they said is I have to pie cut the collector and kind of turn it a little bit and get it away from the transmission. That's my only option. And then I have to just kind of heat this up and hit it in, is what they told me. But because of that, as you can see, I'm not going to have room for the normal power by the hour shift lever. So that's why I'm going with the kit from SVE, Late Model Restoration, because it points it up, and then the bracket will mount up here and everything, and then I'll have the linkage going up. So that kind of solves that problem. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing because they mentioned it, and you can see from the top that it's definitely pointing inwards. Not really sure what happened there. I was also told it's kind of normal, but if you can't really tell, but it definitely sits a lot higher than the side. So that's almost at the level of the pan. That is well above it, but whatever. I guess that's normal. I did notice after I put oil in it that I had a slight leak coming from the back. I did get a new rear main seal. It's probably just the RTV around it, but I figured, well, it's all apart, I'll replace that. So I got to pull the transmission off, pull the headers off, flywheel, everything, get all that. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. I'm not really looking forward to that, but I did break off a few bolts in my oil pan. So while everything's apart, I'm going to take the time to pull those out and replace them. Moving over to my parts table, this is kind of the stuff that I got lined up that is next to be replaced. These are the connectors for the harness extension. I'm going to give them a try. Seen some good reviews on them. Normally I just will solder them together, but this seems to be legitimate. Throw some resin on them, and yeah, that should be good. Got Ford flex plate bolts. This is for my seat, my rear seat. The brackets are missing, so it's kind of just flopping in the wind. While the oil pan and everything is off, the rear main seal is getting replaced. I am going to replace the this crank sensor. Figured why not do it while it's off. Rear main seal, bunch of random little gaskets. I did decide to go with the Mustang windage tray. Again, figure while it's all apart, might as well do something good for it. And I am replacing my oil pan. Not sure what happened, but it is leaking a little bit. I probably screwed something up installing the first one, so no big deal. If anyone can't tell, I'm pretty bad when it comes to recording videos. Probably going to be even worse editing them. This is my first attempt at combining multiple videos because I keep rambling and stepping over my words. So I guess if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm no expert by any means, but I've watched a lot of videos, so that's about what I get all my information from. But otherwise, build's going pretty good. Got about, I don't know, 15-20 hours worth of work still before I can put the motor back in the car. After that point, I got a body harness, fuel system, and should be good to start up. Once it's started running, I'll work on getting it driving. I'm really bad at filming myself working, so that's kind of why I'm just going to do these updates for now, unless I run across something that's like really important and needs to be discussed that, you know, there really isn't videos for. But pretty much everything I'm doing there's a video for. To anyone who's taken the time to watch this video in its entirety, I appreciate it. Again, I know these are kind of silly and probably won't get a whole lot of attention, but something cool to look back on, I guess, in the future once the car's running and driving, and who knows, maybe I'll get better at talking on the phone and recording, editing, whatnot, and it'll be silly to watch these videos knowing this is where I started. But I have zero intention on doing anything with my YouTube career. So that's it. That's all I got. If you have any questions, again, let me know. I'll try to post another update in a week or so if anything else gets done. If not, you won't hear from me. Bye.